Hi everyone, let me introduce to you my friend Harry, who is a speech robot. He will be taking us through the case study of Unilever today. I will also be asking some questions to him then and there during this video in order to make this video look like an interactive session and also an interesting one for you. Harry, now it's over to you.
Hi everyone. I am Harry. Today let's see the case study of Unilever, about how they saved over 50,000 hours in candidate interview time, and delivered over £1 million annual savings. This video also explains how they improved candidate diversity with machine analysis of video-based interviewing. Before exploring this case study, I would request you to subscribe, 5 Minutes Learning channel in YouTube, and support me to post more such videos. Also by subscribing, you can keep track of my video updates. For your better understanding, I have enabled this video with English subtitles. Now let's begin the case study from a small case study video.
I'm Rich Filoni, Senior Strategy Reporter at Business Insider. I first heard about HireVue when I wrote about Unilever's experiment in hiring. Unilever is one of many large companies that is incorporating artificial intelligence into their recruitment efforts. HireVue uses video analysis to screen employees and rate them before a recruiter even gets to look at their interviews.
I'm Lauren Larson. I'm the Chief Technology Officer at HireVue. HireVue has a platform that simplifies the job interviewing process. The most common use of that is what we call an on-demand interview, where you create a set of questions, they respond on video, and then we use artificial intelligence algorithms to evaluate their performance. And then we analyze the interview and predict their performance based on the interview.
So HireVue set up an application for me where it was 11 interview questions. I used my iPhone. The entire time I felt very awkward and very self-conscious because I was looking at a video of myself.
And then we made an analysis of the features that are important for that job and produced what we call an insight score, which is essentially his ranking compared to all of the other candidates that we've seen. Well, fortunately, Rich did really well in this interview.
Basically, what this is just doing is looking for things like eye contact, enthusiasm. If this is someone who's going to be working with clients face-to-face, do they smile or are they downcast? Are they looking away from the camera? So some of my skepticism was averted when I actually saw how the product worked.
The machine is going to look at 25,000 different features and complex relationships between those that might see things that I'm not able to see as a human.
AI in recruiting at this point is still basically in its infancy. I think what HireVue is doing is interesting. They're going into uncharted territory. It seems that a lot of large companies are happy with the results.
Of the candidates that we screened for this, he was second. He had a 65% insight score. So we actually want to make him an offer.
That's a good start, Harry. Can you please explain us why Unilever adopted artificial intelligence in HR?
Unilever is a global leader in consumer goods. Unilever's products can be found in more than 190 countries. Their 400-plus brands meet their consumers' needs across personal and home care, food, and more. To meet rapidly changing and dynamic consumer demands, Unilever recognized the need to attract talent from around the globe, appealing specifically to the millennial workforce. They expect that 60% of their workforce to be millennials by 2020. With this in mind, they wanted to engage with present generation through innovative technology that is engaging, dynamic, and able to move quickly. Whereas Unilever suffered from outdated processes rooted in paper, phone screens and manual assessments. It has to spend 4 to 6 months to shift through 250,000 applications in order to hire 800 individuals. So, Unilever used AI's automation technology when hiring people for their Future Leaders program, which spans 50 countries, and is designed to develop managers at the company. This program provides challenging and purposeful opportunities to accelerate staff readiness. It includes extended leadership contact, formal training, and professional development. So, they partnered with two firms working in the AI tech space, PEmetrix and HireVue.
Harry, can you please explain us how this entire process of technology works?
PEmetrix is a game-based platform that measures social, cognitive and behavioral traits. It is used during the application process to go beyond resumes and really get to know candidates and how they work. Job seekers play a series of games on their phone or computer to measure the traits making them unique, such as aptitude, logical thinking, reasoning and most importantly, appetite for risk. There are no right or wrong answers. They are just looking at how people approach problems, not specific solutions. HireVue is a digital recruiting company that uses video intelligence for interviews in order to find the best candidates. Artificial intelligence is performed on the recorded videos, providing insights into candidates to help companies make better hiring decisions. It uses proprietary machine learning algorithms to analyze data points and predict future job performance. This helps clients identify who will be their top performers and meet business objectives. HireVue interviews are video-based and allow hiring managers to see nonverbal cues, such as facial expressions, eye movements, body movements, detail of clothes, and nuances of voice.
That's well said, Harry. Can you please let us know what are the advantages for candidates as well as for the clients in using AI in HR process?
Sure. First, let's see the candidate's benefits, which are as follows. 1. Taking exams in the form of games is significantly more engaging than traditional psychometric test. 2. Coordinating an interview with someone in a different time zone is hard. By allowing candidates record interviews in their own time, hiring managers are able to review them easier. 3. Mastering or failing levels also offers instant performance feedback to help candidates themselves. 4. Game-based assessments minimize bias from a candidate's perspective. Similarly, the immersive nature of game tasks tends to reduce stress resulting from so-called stereotype threat. Furthermore, games elicit more authentic behavior. Finally, by design, assessment data is objective, and so eliminates biases that may arise from subjective interpretations of a resume, letter of recommendation, biographical information, or interviews. Now let's see the benefits for clients. 1. Due to their fast-paced and immersive nature, game-based assessments reveal a candidate's natural behavior and responses, unlike traditional testing methods. Unlike traditional assessments, game-based assessments are progressive, they adapt as the candidate engages with it. Next, game-based assessments test a candidate's ability to solve new problems, think logically, and also their level of motivational drive to succeed. Next, video interviewing provides hiring managers with the ability to make selections based on qualitative data that is not apparent on resumes. Online video interviewing enables companies to watch as soon as an application is done, and they can refer back to it later, as many times as desired. Since every candidate effectively gets a custom assessment based on their abilities, there is no need for the one-size-fits-all approach. Finally, it is time-saving and cost-saving.
That's great, Harry. Can you summarize the results and let us know how Unilever is benefited from this artificial intelligence process?
When used by Unilever, PEmetrix, and HireVue, narrowed their applicants from 250,000 to 3,500 people, all of whom were invited to assessment centers. Here they met real-life recruiters to make the final choice of 800 people. HireVue also claims that Unilever has saved 50,000 hours in candidate time over 18 months. Unilever accomplished £1 million annual cost savings. Also, they achieved 96% candidate completion rate, compared to 50%. With 90% reduction in time to hire, and 16% increase in diversity hires. Hi viewers, today let's see the case study of Airtel, on predictive hiring strategy. How they overcome their hiring challenges, and how Airtel improved its offer to joining ratio. Before exploring the case study, I would request you to subscribe, 5 Minutes Learning channel in YouTube and support me to post more such videos. Also by subscribing, you can keep track of my video updates. For your better understanding, I have enabled this video with English subtitles. Now let's move to the topic. Artificial intelligence for recruiting is an emerging category of HR technology, designed to reduce or even remove time-consuming activities, like manually screening resumes. Screening resumes still remains the biggest challenge in talent acquisition. It is found that 52% of talent acquisition leaders say, the hardest part of recruitment is identifying the right candidates from a large applicant pool. According to a survey of talent acquisition leaders, 56% say their hiring volume will increase this year, but only 66% of recruiting teams will either stay the same size or contract. This means that recruiters are being tasked to do more with less. Most managers and HR professionals have had an employee who is great in interview, but turned to be a big disappointment. Having to repeat the hiring process is incredibly frustrating. Even worse is that, these bad hiring decisions actually cost your business up to 150% of their annual salary. Many employers passively accept the high staff turnover, reduced productivity, low customer satisfaction, and wasted training investment, resulting from bad hires, because they are simply unaware of these massive hidden costs. Scientific studies tell us that traditional approach to recruitment of manually reviewing resumes, time-consuming interviews, and reference checks from people chosen by the candidates, are all relatively inaccurate ways of selecting people. In the next few years, finding top talent will depend on the recruiter's ability to intelligently automate their workflow. Artificial intelligence application for recruiting, such as the learning or problem solving that a computer can do, to the recruitment function. This new technology is designed to streamline or automate some part of the recruiting workflow, especially repetitive, high-volume tasks. For example, software that applies machine learning to resumes in order to auto-screen candidates, or software that conducts sentiment analysis on job descriptions, to identify potentially biased language. A few years ago, when Bharti Airtel began the process of digital transformation within the organization, it faced a huge hiring challenge. The company was, itself, transforming from a telecom company to a technology company. It had grown into a big group with 3 verticals, which are telecom, entertainment and payments bank. So they needed wider range of talent, yet was attracting only telecom professionals. Airtel now needed to hire not just for telecom, but also for its entertainment division such as Wink, Airtel Movies etc., and the new payments bank division. Even within telecom, the profile of the candidate it was seeking had undergone a radical change as it needed completely new skills. But, A bigger problem was that, even when it identified the right talent, the candidate was not biting. In 2015, only 2 in every 10 offers that Airtel made converted into jobs. The offer-to-drop percentage was as high as 80%. So, something needed to be done urgently. In today's world, both digitization and digitalization are gathering terrific momentum, and transforming the way organizations work. Telecom industry is no exception. The product and experiences have now got to be delivered to customers in an online form, rather than in physical form. So, Airtel now needed digital talent, and big data specialists. Even among the engineers, it now needed diverse specialities like IoT, cloud, etc. They needed very different talent from the traditional network engineers. When it began analyzing why the right talent was not coming its way, Airtel identified some sobering truths. They are as follows. 1. For starters, the engineers they were trying to attract felt that Airtel was not a relevant place for them to work, as they feel it's not a technology company. 2. The hiring process was too long. They found it was taking 3 to 4 weeks on an average. Another issue that came up during their analysis was compensations. They found that they were benchmarking salaries against traditional telecom companies as not working out for them. They also found out that the job titles were not appealing for the engineers, as the internal job grading was very telecom-oriented, with designations such as assistant managers. In order to attract the right engineering candidate, first clearly, there was a need to reposition Airtel as a technology company to the engineering community, where Airtel is not just a place for supervisory work but also a place where hardcore coding was done. So Airtel unleashed a social media campaign, as well as created stories on television, that describes the engineering work at Airtel. It got testimonials that it put on LinkedIn. Second, Airtel also took a hard look at its own internal processes of hiring, in order to cut short the long process of hiring. Whenever it did bulk hiring or batch hiring, it tried to close it the same day. Third, it also changed some of the ways in which it was hiring. Hackathons and coding tests were introduced in the hiring process. Fourth, they hired recruiters who would know the skilled talent that they wanted. Fifth, they used artificial intelligence platform for hiring. They started working with the HR tech recruitment company, Belong.com. They used Belong's AI platform to identify candidates who are likely to match the company profile and implement a targeted approach. They used technology to simplify hiring processes, from sorting resumes to scheduling interviews. Belong's AI platform scouts the internet to unearth publicly available information on any and all possible candidates, including scanning their Twitter accounts, Facebook pages, LinkedIn profiles, and more. After gathering information, the platform ranks potential hires according to their suitability for a role at a particular company. Sixth, in order to solve the issue regarding compensation, they decided to create a different technical track for engineers. Even the internal job grading was very telecom-oriented, with designations such as assistant manager, which Airtel found that they had no appeal for the engineers it was trying to attract. Developers want designations such as principal engineer, or senior developer. So they decided to talk the language they understand, and created those designations. The creation of the technical track within the organization helped them introduce these new roles. Finally, a big hiring innovation that Airtel did was to create a bench for prospective candidates. Airtel cast its net and identified talent that it felt would be a good fit and seeded them the idea of a job with it at some point. They told these prospective candidates that they will contact them when the right time and the right opportunity comes. Following are the result of this project on hiring. 1. Airtel's hiring process time was reduced from 3 to 4 weeks, to 3 to 4 days. Next, offer drop rate went down from 80% to 26% in 2 years through predictive hiring. From the 80% drop-off in 2015, Airtel cut down the rate to 50% in 2016, and in the next year 2017, it's down to 26%. That means now, around 7 candidates in 10 accept the offer. Does that mean they have arrived their goal? No, it's a continuous process. They are still fighting for talent. But certainly hiring at Airtel now has the right ring about it.
Hi everyone, let me introduce to you my friend Harry, who is a speech robot. He will take us through the case study of Amazon today. I will also be asking some questions to him then and there during this video in order to make this video like an interactive session and also an interesting one for you. Harry, now it's over to you.
Hi everyone, I am Harry. Today, let's see the case study of Amazon, about withdrawing its algorithm, because of gender bias against women in recruiting. Let's also see what Amazon failed to do, and how a Dutch startup solved the issue. This video also explains how human bias works. Before exploring this case study, I would request you to subscribe, 5 Minutes Learning channel in YouTube, and support me to post more such videos. Also by subscribing, you can keep track of my video updates. For your better understanding, I have enabled this video with English subtitles. Now let's begin the case study, from a small case study interview about this Amazon issue.
Amazon software engineers recently uncovered a big problem. Their new online recruiting tool did not like women. The glitch, sources told Reuters, stemmed from the fact that Amazon's computer models were trained by observing patterns in resumes of job candidates over a 10-year period, largely from men, in effect teaching themselves that male candidates were preferable. Reuters correspondent Jeffrey Daston.
The technology thought, oh, Amazon doesn't like any resume that has the word women's in it. Women's, captain of a women's chess club, captain of a women's soccer team, and all women's university, because the company has hired so many male engineers or software developers, data scientists, and so forth, that clearly the unsuccessful candidates are the ones who also would have this word women's in it.
Amazon never solely relied on these online recruiting tools and disbanded the unit that created it by the start of last year, sources said. It now uses a much watered-down version for administrative chores. The company declined to comment. Daston explaining that artificial intelligence is only as smart as the information it's fed.
What people say in the industry is garbage in, garbage out. So if you give it bad data or that reflects some bias or whatever, the computer is just going to mimic that.
A growing number of companies are automating recruitment, hoping this will make hiring faster and more uniform. Hilton and Unilever are among those using software made by HireVue, which lets applicants video record answers to employers' questions.
Thank you so much.
HireVue's CEO says his firm analyzes candidates' speech and facial expressions in order to reduce reliance on resumes. Amazon, a source said, has a new team assembled to give online screening another try, this time with a focus on diversity.
That's a good start, Harry. I'm still wondering how a big company like Amazon could even fail. Harry, can you please explain us how it all started?
Sure. Amazon had been building computer programs since 2014 to review job applicants' resumes with the aim of standardizing the search for top talent. Automation has been key to Amazon's e-commerce dominance, whether it is inside warehouses or driving pricing decisions. The company's experimental hiring tool used artificial intelligence to give job candidates scores ranging from 1 to 5 stars, much like shoppers rate products on Amazon. They literally wanted the AI tool to be an engine. For example, if they are going to give 100 resumes to it, it will spit out the top 5, and they will hire those top 5. But, by 2015, Amazon realized its new system was not rating candidates for software developer jobs and other technical posts in a gender-neutral way.
Harry, can you explain in detail the reasons for bias while using the algorithms?
AI algorithms are trained to observe patterns in large data sets to help predict outcomes. In Amazon's case, its algorithm used all resumes submitted to the company over a 10-year period to learn how to spot the best candidates. Given the low proportion of women working in the company, as in most technology companies, the algorithm quickly spotted male dominance and thought it was a factor in success. Because the algorithm used the results of its own predictions to improve its accuracy, it got stuck in a pattern of sexism against female candidates. And since the data used to train it was at some point created by humans, it means that the algorithm also inherited undesirable human traits, like bias and discrimination, which have also been a problem in recruitment for years. It's an outcome of GIGO process, garbage in, garbage out, which means that bad input will result in bad output. And it's the same with bias. The problem is that it's incredibly difficult to filter out algorithmic bias, because the algorithms we build pick up on human prejudices. Let me show you another video which explains the machine learning and human bias.
Machine learning, computers learn the solution by finding patterns in data. So it's easy to think there's no human bias in that. But just because something is based on data doesn't automatically make it neutral. Even with good intentions, it's impossible to separate ourselves from our own human biases. So our human biases become part of the technology we create in many different ways. There's interaction bias, like this recent game, where people were asked to draw shoes for the computer. Most people drew ones like this. So as more people interacted with the game, the computer didn't even recognize these. Latent bias. For example, if you were training a computer on what a physicist looks like, and you're using pictures of past physicists, your algorithm will end up with a latent bias, skewing towards men. And selection bias. Say you're training a model to recognize faces. Whether you grab images from the internet or your own photo library, are you making sure to select photos that represent everyone? Since some of our most advanced products use machine learning, we've been working to prevent that technology from perpetuating negative human bias. From tackling offensive or clearly misleading information from appearing at the top of your search results page, to adding a feedback tool on the search bar so people can flag hateful or inappropriate autocomplete suggestions. It's a complex issue and there's no magic bullet, but it starts with all of us being aware of it so we can all be part of the conversation. Because technology should work for everyone.
So now, there will be question of trust, whether or not to rely on AI. To fully benefit from using AI, it's important to investigate what would happen if we allowed AI to make decisions without human intervention. Many of us already rely on algorithms for many of our daily decisions, from what to watch on Netflix or buy from Amazon. But, research shows, people lose confidence in algorithms faster than humans when they see them make a mistake, even when the algorithm performs better overall. For example, if your GPS suggests you use an alternative route to avoid traffic, that ends up taking longer than predicted, you are likely to stop relying on your GPS in the future. But, if taking the alternate route was your decision, it is unlikely you will stop trusting your own judgment. A follow-up study on overcoming algorithm aversion showed that people were more likely to use an algorithm and accept its errors if given the opportunity to modify the algorithm themselves, even if it meant making it perform imperfectly.
So Harry, is there any solution for this issue?
A Dutch startup company solved this issue. Instead of using AI on psychometric tests or resumes, the company looks at a person's natural language, your subconscious use of words, sentence structure, and stylometry. These are predictive of behavior and personality traits. Algorithms compare your answers to a data set of more than 6 million answers, plus related information about post-hiring performances in specific jobs. They consistently see that the recommendations are gender and background neutral. This is because female and male extroverts show large similarities in their stylometry, compared to a group of introverts. The same holds true for age or background. By continuously feeding the algorithms with answers and information about how people are doing in a job or company, the learning becomes more precise and better over time. In that sense, we can completely solve the lack of diversity in leadership positions, and make it about what really should matter, selecting talent that strives in his job.
Thank you everyone for watching this video. See you soon with another interesting video of case study. For more such case studies, please visit 5 Minutes Learning channel in YouTube.